The John Lebang Show has been known to make people laugh, sing, think, scream, throw things in rage, and generally lose their minds. Listener discretion is advised.
Worldwide and out to the greater universe, you're listening to the John Lebang Show.
Well, folks, I know you're expecting John here, but I'm filling in this hour because, well, John's lost. I mean, he's not here tonight. He's doing something that, well, I'm not sure when he's going to be back. We're trying to figure that one out right now. Nerd Eye's on the case. Nerd Eye's on the phone with him. So everything's okay with John. Nothing's wrong with him. So don't anybody get all crazy. I'm just here filling in for the night. Kind of happened on the spot, so I didn't have anything planned, so maybe I talk about what happened throughout the week. I looked at the news, and nothing's good. Nothing ever is good on the news. I could talk about the Pope and all, if you want to hear about the Pope, but I don't know if I want to hear about the Pope either. So maybe we'll leave that for later, looking on the news. You know what? I'll tell you this one thing. I hope you all enjoyed your week, because I know it was a big week for everybody with the big Avengers Endgame coming out. We went and saw that ourselves, and, well, all I can say is I might talk about it later, but it's really not worth talking about right now at the beginning of the show. I was thinking, what am I going to do tonight, being that I didn't really have anything planned? And John's supposed to be here. I wonder if I should imitate him like he imitates everybody else. I wonder if I could do his voice. We'll try that later, maybe. Make it sound like he is here when he isn't here. Don't worry why he's not here, because we got that covered. We were figuring that out, It won't be long, and he'll be back from the void. Vacation or wherever he is. That's maybe he's taking a break. But anyways, I wanted to talk about this subject, if you don't mind. You see, New York decided that they're going to stop having hot dogs and processed meat to improve climate. That's what the big guy over there, Bill de Blasio, the mayor or the idiot, I don't know, whatever, he's a stupid person, whatever. He's just saying that there ain't going to be no more meat or processed meat. They can I know what he's processing himself. So he's going to put a lot of hot dog people out of business, or at least hurt their business. And maybe, processed meat takes a lot of things, ladies and gentlemen. I'm telling you, I knew a guy who had a processed meat. Well, we won't get into that. That would be bad radio. Guess I got to keep the integrity up, even though John's not here. I should just make it my show. Might have to, if he ever shows up again. I don't know. But anyways, so over there in New York, they decided that you can't get hot dogs or processed meat. Why? Because they say it's going to help climate change. Now, just thinking on that, if you just think about it for a minute, it doesn't make any sense at all. I don't know what a hot dog has to do with the temperature of the earth. They're going to say cows are farting. Yeah, cows have always farted. It's just now there's a problem, but that's okay. Maybe they fart too much these days. Maybe we should stop feeding them the grain and give them grain that'll make them fart less. How about that? Anybody think of that? That way I can still have my sausage or my hot dog when I want it? What's the world without a good chili dog? Could you imagine if there are no more chili dogs in the world because they say cows fart too much? I tell you what, let's go a little deeper. I think this mayor talks too much. Maybe we should ban him. That's all I'm saying. He speaks too much. He puts out too much carbon emissions. Shut him up. Get rid of him. Maybe that we should do that with all politicians. We had old Pence in here earlier in the week. He stopped into the local whatever to look at whatever for about 30 minutes, tied up the whole area. We had police cars up and down the road, the helicopters flying, black SUVs. We had the media, everything was here. And he stopped in at some kind of parts dealership. I don't know what it was. I don't care. I just don't know why he stopped in for that little bit. You know how much money that must have cost? That one man could tie up the roads, cost a fortune, have a complete giant escort of police, not even from the area, mind you, but whatever. I had no idea the vice president was so nice that he would tie up the road so much. Now, I heard talking bad about the vice president showing up to the town as being a big baby. You even get threatened. That's what I heard. You get threatened if you make a video complaining about it. This may be John's show, but Shady's running the show today. It's a lot different. That's all I'm saying. In fact, why don't you stay in Washington where you're supposed to be? Because you're a federal employee. That's all I'm saying. You're federal. Stay in the federal market, not my local market over here. We have enough trouble with the mayor and the corruption and all that. We don't need you coming in and tying up the roads. You know how hard it is with this mayor over here? But I guess all politicians are a little crooked. Can't get away from that. Got the entire Democrat Party's a bunch of crooks. But apparently they're better than the crook that's in office right now, according to them. I don't see it that way. Crook's a crook's a crook. Why replace one crook with an even worse crook? Maybe we should get good people going up there. Or is it even possible that good people could go to Washington? I don't think so. In fact, it's probably pretty impossible to be a good person and be elected to any office. You have to be a little bit crooked to even want to get into politics. Unless you're going to clean it all up. And we know there ain't nobody in the Democrat Party going to clean up anything. And we can see the current president hasn't cleaned up much. Oh, they say he has. You know, the diehards. Those people who would trump everything. Because that's all it's been in the media and everywhere. It's Trump, Trump, Trump. For like 2.5 years, almost 3 years now. Trump, Trump, Trump. You know, if the media didn't like him so much, you'd think they'd stop talking about him and his policies and just ignore him. But it's a constant barrage of Trump this and Trump that. Trump my ass. That's all I'm saying. Then he's out there tweeting all day. You know, that's an interesting place, Twitter. We just found out that about only 22% of Americans are even on Twitter. And of those people that are on Twitter, which is only 22% of America, most of them people lean towards the Democrats. They're liberal, but they think that's the whole world. See, it's like New York and California. They think they're the whole world, that everybody's like them, and it ain't. See, us people in flyover country, the ones that don't matter to the politicians and don't matter to the East Coasters and the West Coasters. We people don't think like you. You may think it's different, but I thought you liked diversity. Only when it's benefiting you, though, isn't it? We got a healthy dose of diversity in the latest Avengers movie. And I'll tell you my review a little later. There'll be no spoilers. Don't worry, I ain't going to ruin it for you. Not like you're listening anyways. I mean, what's John got? 2 to 4 listeners, maybe 10, if he's lucky. So as I was scanning through the news, I also saw this pop up, and I mentioned it earlier, but the Pope is sending aid to the migrants who are stranded on the U.S. border. We just heard a little earlier, I was reading the paper earlier in the week, And we're finding out that there's buses waiting for these migrants, these immigrants. They're not immigrants. They're trespassers. Why don't we give them correct terminology? They're crossing over into a land that wasn't inviting them. Did we invite these people? Come on in. Did we say no? I don't know anybody that actually say. Not even the Democrats are saying come on in. They're just saying it's racist to say you can't come in. I don't think anybody knows what racism actually is these days. And in fact, the larger portion of the public is all screwed up on that. See, racism back in the day, when I was a young lad, that was a long time ago, we won't talk about that, but racism back in the day was beating somebody up, denying somebody something. That ain't it anymore. I mean, nobody's denied anything these days. And if it is, it's a little instance over here, and it's usually blown out of proportion and not exactly like the Indian and the guy boy thing, where they made up the story about the old Indian man face to face with that boy. I don't know, it was a long time ago. See, if you ain't keeping up with the news, then you probably don't know what's going on. And if you are keeping up with the news, you're probably watching the mainstream garbage. Those people over there. And I tell you to stop it because it ain't doing you any good. And they telling you lies. They're stretching the truth. Hell, there's been times where I've seen them outright tell you a complete, utter falsity. But whatever. You want to believe them. That's another thing I don't understand. These media types, no matter if it's regular media, like the news and all that, or like the entertainment media, including movies, they're doing things that are totally wrong on the people. Yet the people keep shoving the money on them. They keep giving you garbage, and you keep eating it. And you're paying for it. Paying for garbage. A mind-numbing experience, and I don't want to have to think because life's too much to think about, then I guess that stuff's okay for you. Somebody feeding you garbage, you eat it. You are what you eat, ladies and gentlemen. You ever hear that expression? You are what you eat. And you've been eating garbage. Lots of it. Tons of it. Looks like we got to go to break, folks, because we're on the clock here. We're already 14 minutes into the show. That went by pretty quick. Guess I'll have to stop talking for now and do my best to not be like de Blasio for a moment. But when I get back, I'll figure out something else to talk about. Hey, Uncle Shady, where are they going? Hey, you, get back here. The John Lebang Show will be right back. Does your house need a paint job, but you don't want to do it? Then call Tom at Quality One Painting. He can handle all of your interior and exterior painting needs. He gives free estimates and senior discounts. Call Tom at Quality One. 313-982-2986. That's 313-982-2986. Quality One Painting.
You're listening to the John Lebang Show.
And it's so much fun. Why you keep talking? Oh, am I not supposed to? No. Oh, back to John. We're back, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you're enjoying the show this far. A little different because you're probably expecting John and you're hearing a sexy voice right here that sounds so much better than John's voice. And he'll probably gain some listeners while I'm on the radio. But he's gone right now. He's in the void. I mean, in vacation, or on vacation, I should say. So just bear with us. It's a little different show. We're just going to go about our business. Mexico crossing the border. There's soldiers crossing the border and disarming U.S. soldiers. That's always a good thing. Not only are there people crossing over the border and doing what they want in the country, but now Mexican soldiers are dominating on the border too. One has to wonder what the hell's going on with the government, that we can't fix this problem. And the problem keeps getting worse and worse and worse, and nothing gets done. Get a lot of talk from the president, get a lot of other talk from the other politicians, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. This thing's been going on since the 90s, if not longer. Nothing's been ever fixed about it. And it doesn't go away. And I'm telling you what, that tells me one thing, ladies and gentlemen. That tells me nobody wants it to be fixed. They want it to be a constant problem so the American people have something to worry about. See, the politician's job is to make our life easier by getting things out the way for us, not making things worse for us. Yet the politician don't do that today. The politician want to tax you more, want to make life harder on you. So you're taxed more, that means it makes it harder to pay your bills, but they don't care. And when it's harder to pay your bills, you got to take out a loan sometimes. You got to get a credit card, and then you go into debt that way, even further, when you wouldn't have to be in debt in the first place if they wouldn't take from you. But we need some kind of services from the government, or that's what they told you to believe, and you do believe it, don't you? You think the government's supposed to serve you, like the guy at the local paint store that you treat like crap every day. And they got that miserable job, and you still treat them like crap. But that's okay, because you want the politician to treat you like crap. Give me a little drink here. I'm not used to talking for a whole hour. That's John's job. I don't know why he's not here. I mean, I know why, but I'm just saying I don't want to have... Hopefully he's back soon, because I don't want to do this every week. I want to sit down and watch Godzilla or something. What was I saying? Oh, we were talking about politicians, huh? Because that's a good thing to talk about. You trust them more than you trust even John. I don't even know what you're talking about. What's wrong with you people out there? You listen to garbage, you eat garbage, and you talk garbage. Unbelievable people out there. This world's different than when I was a boy. When you go out in public, you show respect for everybody. Not anymore. Today I go out in public and I want to throw up. That's what I want to do. I don't even go out anymore. I send Leroy to do all that stuff I need. Leroy, you go to Kroger's and get me food, because I ain't going. Nobody has respect to say that, oh, I don't want to see your booger hanging off of your bull nose. No, I don't want to see that. Please pull your pants up, bro. I don't want to see your pants hanging down so far that I see the stain in your underwear. What's the problem? I don't even know what's wrong with the mental problem with that. Wearing your pants unnormally, so we can see your underwear and we can see your little stain from your underwear. People's crazy today. Lots of crazy. And if you complain about it, they tell you to shut up. Say you're the problem. I ain't the one looking ugly. I ain't the one making everybody throw up when I have to look at you in the shopping mall. Pull your pants up so I don't have to see the stain. That's all I'm saying. You know, this is pretty fun, talking on the radio. I might want to do this. Tell you what, we're going to change the name if John don't come back soon. Change the name to Shady Superfly Sexy Show. I always wanted one. You know, you don't get paid for that, though, because John's a cheapo. So what else is there to point out wrong with the people of the world? Because that's what it is. The world's so backwards, crazy, that the real problem is the people. Nobody got respect for anybody anymore. Never. I mean, you drive down the road, you got garbage in your car. What do? You throw it out the window. Let somebody else pick it up. That's the excitement of life, isn't it? Picking up other people's garbage, dealing with other people's crap. Got your neighbor, they walk your dog in the front yard and they crap in your front yard. Hey, they don't have to pick it up. It's on your yard. That's your property now. You know, possession 9/10 of law. And if you call to complain about it, the police don't do anything. They say, well, it's on your lawn. Because the police department, they're more worried about speeders. You know, they set up them traps. Our local police department, we're going to talk about the local city hall and local police department. Might as well. But here we got a local police department over here. All the cars are almost unmarked these days. You know, they have the dark colored cars, so they look like, so they blend in. You can't tell that they're the police color anymore. And then the logo is so faded in, it's like you can barely see it. And they call that a police car. Well, I want to know where my police cars are. I don't want them hiding on the road trying to catch a speeder. Their job is to stop criminals, not to stop speeders all the time. And I know that you don't want people driving totally crazy on the road. But you got to wonder, as a cop, do you want to actually be a cop? And your job is to pull over people and write them tickets because they went 5 over the limit. That's a wonderful job. I'd, go to the police academy for that. Back in the day, they used to go there to make sure to serve and protect. Remember that? Serve and protect. Not to pull over and ticket. You call the police department because something go down in your neighborhood, they go, well, we can't do anything about that. No, because you're too busy doing tickets. Then you got some other things going on there with the government. The FBI raids our city hall. No, there's a lot going on down there, I'm telling you. Nothing comes from it, from what I can tell. They raided it. Maybe they raided it to destroy the evidence. Sometimes, things are linked too well. And then when nothing comes from it after a raid, you wonder what the hell happened. Because if it was falsely raided, there was a, Trump thing going on where they made up reasons to raid the city hall, you think somebody would sue the government? I guess you can't do that if they raid your office, raid your home, and it's falsely. Tough crap for you, isn't it? You just have to deal with it. Oh, well. Hope I didn't shoot your dog. Bet you like the show better than John's show, because I say it like it is. Speaking of the FBI in Mexico, and boy, it's all tied in this hour, isn't it? I didn't realize you could tie everything in so well, but the FBI arrested the leader of a group who was trying to stop illegal aliens from coming into the country, because that's more important. Arrest the guy who's trying to protect the country. Maybe it's right, maybe it's wrong. Yeah. Only law enforcement can enforce the law, and if they don't want to enforce the law, isn't that tough cookies? You as a citizen used to be able to make a citizen's arrest, not anymore. That takes away the authority of the authorities. And if the authorities ain't doing their job right, the hell with it. So it's one big mess after another, One big mess. You've got governments that don't do anything to protect you, but they take all the money they can from you. Talk about taxation without representation. It's more like taxation with a stick in the rear. It's like probation. Stick that probe and pull out what they want. Leave the rest for you. And they take it from you, and they can't even keep that under control. Their own spending. They spend more than they take. These politicians, though, they'd take more if they could. They take all your money and make you a slave. Don't think they wouldn't, because they would. Because you don't count. You're just a little person. That's proven with the vice president coming to town, blocking everybody in their driveway. Large police escort costing millions of dollars for a little 30-minute visit or whatever. Millions of dollars, and the poor little schlub at his home that don't make that much money can't do anything about it. You got to pay for it through his taxes, the income tax and all that other stuff they find reason to tax you, because they like to punish you for doing anything. You're better off doing nothing than being the bum down the road. We got them all over the place now. Because it's more profitable to be a panhandler than go to work. Because you don't have to pay taxes as a panhandler. You can make a pretty good living because they're there every day. I'm telling you, they're making a good living. And they don't even have to follow any of the rules like don't litter. Because they leave their trash all over the place, garbage all over, and the police don't do anything about that. They can't bust them people, even though it's against the law to be a panhandler. It's against the law to litter. You can't do any of that, but, it's against the law to make money without paying taxes, apparently. Although I still haven't found a law that says that. But somehow they think it's okay to take money from you, so there must be a law somewhere. Just wish somebody would produce that law. Somebody produce a law, please. Tell me where it's okay for them to tax my money. Because I don't see it. I see a couple places where they can tax when you buy something. But I don't see anywhere, the law. Please, somebody, find that for me. Because I looked and I can't find it. The law that says they can tax me because I work. I mean, that's stupid in general. Take your money for being productive. See, it's better to be a panhandler. Over there in Taylor or Dearborn, Michigan. Sit there, stand on the road, dress all dirty. You don't even have to clean up. You have bad breath, stuff hanging off your beard. You don't have to shave ever. You sit there and say, I'm homeless, even though you're not, but that's okay. I'm homeless. Please give me your money. And the schlubs out there, the stupid idiots, roll down the window and touches. You know what kind of disease this guy has if he is a real bum that lives on the streets? What kind of disease? He don't wipe his butt with TP. You're giving him your money. You got to touch it. No wonder there's so many diseases running around. And oh boy, don't tell me about the measles. We'll get to that in a little bit. But we have all gone past this half hour time. We got to stop, take a break. But when we get back, I'm going to complain some more because that's what I do. Don't move a muscle.
The John Lebang Show will be right back.
With lots of fun and excitement. Yes!
Are you in need of commercial or residential window cleaning? Do you need your office cleaned? Maybe custodial work? How about some gutter cleaning? If you do, then call Pane in the Glass. For a beautiful shine that's crystal clear, call Pane and the Glass. You can find them on Facebook at Pane and the Glass.
Hey, man, it's at the bottom of the hour, man. Do you know where your kids are, man?
If you want to contact the John Lebang Show, feel free to send an email to jlebang@live.com. And if you're on Twitter, look him up at John Lebang. And don't forget to go to his Facebook page at The John Lebang Show. Banger. Now here's John.
Show's kind of different when John's not here, huh? We just say it like it is. John's pretty blunt, but not like me. I just say, hell, just let it rip. Like a fault in my face. That happened to me recently. We won't talk about that on the radio, though, because that's embarrassing to the person who couldn't control their flagellation. Now, let's see. We pointed out how bad our city hall is. What else can we talk about? Oh, this is a good one, ladies and gentlemen. I love this. Another point of wasting money, and I got to still figure out who authorized this. But we have a spot down here on a road, not far where the panhandlers. Maybe they're putting a sidewalk in for the panhandlers. You know, they got to walk somewhere. But nobody else walks this but the panhandlers. But they decided to put sidewalks on both sides of the road. I don't know why. Nobody ever walks it but the panhandlers because there ain't no houses in the area to walk to and from. Nobody walks down the expressway from under the expressway except the panhandlers, because that's where they get their money. They sit out there and wait for the people to come off the expressway and go, hey, give me your money. If you don't, I'm going to stink up on your car. I still don't understand why the people give them money, but whatever. Put them out of business. Nobody wants to put anything out of business that's wrong with the world. Hell, give all the wrong stuff money. Talk about giving the wrong stuff money, people supporting all these large corporations for you. They just want to overcharge you because they want to rip you off. I tell you, that one day I'm gonna break out some numbers for you because I know some inside information on a specific business, and I'm gonna break out some numbers for you. That is, if John doesn't come back. I mean, he'll come back someday, maybe, hopefully. We're working on that. He's on vacation. That's what. Yeah, just remember, he's on vacation right now. Oh, here's a story that I thought was very interesting. It says scientists say this is the age where creativity is at its peak. A lot of people think it's when you're young, but it ain't. According to scientists, it's in your mid-50s. That means in your mid-50s these days, you're at your creative peak. That's because you figured out all the mistakes you made along the way in your other projects and your other calculations, because you rushed to some kind of conclusion, because young people don't have the experience to know that there are many more variables than just the ones in front of your face. See, when you're 50 and older, after this you probably start declining because you're old then. You're really old. You don't expect to be at your peak at 75. Although some people are still good at 75 and their brain's still going pretty well. Guess it depends on what happened in life, how much drugs you did. I don't know. Could be the fact that some of your people in your family are crazy, and that's why you turned out crazy too. According to scientific research, mid-50s is the best. They say 20s is good because you're really sharp at 20, but the 50s are pretty good. So when you're in your 30s, your brain's stupid. That's what they're saying. Late 20s, maybe in your 40s, you might be getting a little bit better. See, from my perspective, because I'm an old man, I'm still creative in my old age. But you haven't become a man till about mid-30s. You don't even know what it is to be a man these days until you're about in your mid-30s. You're lost. And I'm telling you, it may be older now that the new generation is coming in. Because outside of a few people in that millennial generation, I see it as very much the same as the baby boomers. They're a very selfish generation. And since that's not the demographic that listens to us anyways, I ain't scared to say that. Millennials couldn't handle the show. You know, back in the day, when I was young, you were out on your own at about 18. If you did stick around, you were still working at 18 and you were paying your bills. These days, I see kids, well, adults, so they used to be adults, but kids in their 27s and 26s still playing video games. I know it's fun. Video games are so much fun. But there comes a point where you got to put down the video game and get into life for real. But nobody want to do that anymore, especially in the majority of the millennials that I've met. I don't know what they're going to do. Most of them look like they have brain damage. And a society filled with brain damaged individuals not going to be good. Look what it did to the baby boomers. That was a society of brain damaged people. They produced Generation X. Nobody even wanted to talk about Generation X. Why? Because that generation was screwed over so bad by the prior generation and the newer generation. Just overlooked. That was the throwaway generation. Get rid of them. We don't care. We'll tax them to death. They won't be around long. We don't care. It's a small generation anyways. That was really the first generation where nobody had a dad. And if they did have a dad, he was a deadbeat. I mean, there's a majority. They broke that family up. They used the baby boomers, which were selfish as hell, and used them to break up the family. The first stages of it. Now they're using the millennials to destroy the family and make everybody a fairy. Hey, keep the population down when nobody's having sex with the opposite sex, are they? Y'all having sex with your own sex, there ain't going to be no babies in the future. No wonder they want to import immigrants. You ain't going to make babies. Y'all want to play with the same thing instead of playing with something different. Remember when opposites attract? Hell no anymore. The only thing that attracts these days, then that tells you why the world is all backed up crazy. Because when opposites attract, more things were accomplished because there was more compromise. Now it's like, I want to be with my kind. So they only hang around with their own. And they try to recruit more. So I don't know what's wrong with the world. You people are driving me crazy. I watch it. It's all changed since I was a boy. See, it all made sense when I was younger. Don't make sense. I'm older now. According to science, I should be at my peak right now of understanding things and creativeness. And I sit there and I look at the whole world and I'm like, I don't understand you people. You're all backwards. You're all crazy. All you're doing in your attempt to be whatever you're trying to be, because I don't know what any of you trying to be whatever, all you're doing is screwing up the world for everybody. And what kills me is like the people who keep wanting to change, right? This, that, and the other thing. It's not good enough. And for like 40 years now, the country has swung left, farther and farther left. And the left, the people over there, the people who wanted all the change are not happy with the change. They're less happy than they were back then when there were no changes. See, all the time we've been changing things, it ain't making things better. You keep shifting to the left, and the left ain't happy. The left is never going to be happy because they don't even know their own policies suck until they implement them, and then they ain't happy with it. And then they want more. You should have left it the way it was originally. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I don't know what's wrong with people. What was wrong with man and woman getting together and making babies? Guess that's wrong now. Supposedly that was broke. Now everybody go with your own kind. That way no babies are made. That way we have to import people from another part of the world who, don't understand the American culture, don't understand the freedom, and don't understand Western culture. Bring them in and let them make babies. Guess that's easier. Screw all you up. The people who could be thinkers, screw them up. Bring in the people who've been living in hellholes their whole life and give them a cracker, and they'll be happy. Because you weren't happy when you had everything. You had to go ahead and change all the good stuff in this country. And now that you keep changing it, and it keeps changing, you ain't happy with it. Should have left it the way it was in the beginning. Would have been much better. At least half of us be happy. Now you screwed it up for all of us. Now I'm bumping things in the studio. I don't know why people are so stupid. Don't blame this on John. I'm Shady. I'm just filling in for him. You want to fire me from the radio? That ain't no big deal. I ain't worried about it. But it's been a barrage of constant stuff changing for the last 40 plus years in this country. Always moving left, as they would say by the political standards. Always going that way. And the people on that side not only are not happy, but they're even more unhappy than they were years ago, when they were complaining they want the changes. So maybe we shouldn't have done any of the changes, because none of the changes makes anybody happy. Nothing. Should have left it the old way. Can't understand that. I don't know. Sometimes change ain't good. Let's just say getting your arm cut off is change. Doesn't mean it's a good change. So when you're asking for change, better think it through all the way. What will it entail down the road? But I don't think people even think about what's down the road. They look what's in front of their face. They can't even see stupid in front of their face. Oh well, we got to go to break. Send the hate mail to shadyloveshatemail@live.com. Smoke them if you got them.
Because the John Lebang Show will be right back
after this.
That's guaranteed. Yes. At Absolute Skin and Body Care, they only use the best laser equipment in the industry, so that you receive the best results possible. They'll explain all the procedures in detail and answer all of your questions. Absolute Skin and Body Care. If you're looking for skin rejuvenation, laser lipo, or laser hair removal, call Absolute Skin and Body Care. They're located at 37625 Ann Arbor Road, Suite 105 in Livonia, Michigan. Absolute Skin and Body Care. Their office phone numbers are 248-305-3000. That's 248-305-3000. Absolute Skin and Body Care.
You're listening to the John Lebang Show.
And it's so much fun.
Are you scared, ladies and gentlemen? Just wondering, are you afraid that the measles are gonna get you? Because I guess there's an outbreak of a little less than 300 measles cases across the country. We only have a population of 300 and some million people. And 300 cases is an outbreak, or under 300 cases is an outbreak. I remember when the whole Brady Bunch family had an outbreak of measles. Nobody freaked out back then. But the media, the way they're putting it, says it's a worst outbreak of the century, which is 19 years, so it's the worst outbreak in 19 years. Oh, that's funny. That's like saying we're having the worst outbreak of the flu in 19 years, but they put it of the century, like it's supposed to be something scary. Love how the media does their business, sensationalizes everything, or at least everything they want to be sensationalized. So we have the worst outbreak of measles in 13 years or 19 years. Sorry about that. That's a big thing. Hope you're all afraid now, because you're going to go out there and get those vaccinations because it's so bad out there. When you look at it in the big picture, you realize measles ain't that big a deal. Really, it ain't. The whole Brady Bunch, you can go back to the Brady Bunch episode. Maybe I'll play some of that for you.
Hi. Peter. What are you doing home from school?
They sent me home. Measles.
It's either measles or a strange case of red freckles.
You have got a temperature.
They told me 101.1. What's the record?
Never mind.
Oh, are you sure it's the measles?
Well, he certainly got all the symptoms. A slight temperature, a lot of dots, and a great big smile.
A great big smile.
No school for a few days.
Say hello to my dotted son for me. Tell him I'll bring him some comic books and I'll see you later, dear.
Okay, honey, bye.
Boy, this is the life, isn't it?
Yeah, if you have to get sick, you sure can't beat the measles.
That's right. No medicine.
Inside or out? Like shots, I mean.
Don't even mention shots.
Yeah.
Measles, measles, measles. Well, all the kids have now had the measles.
So have I.
Well, I had them years ago. Looks like the Bradys are finished with the measles.
Hold it. You're not through yet.
Alice, don't tell me you're coming down with the measles.
Oh, I hope so. I'd hate to think I was just learning how to blush at my age.
Whole Brady Bunch episode. They love being on the measles. They didn't have to go to school. They got to stay home and play. Hell, the kids enjoyed it. Even Alice caught the measles. She didn't like it so much. But adults getting the measles ain't the same as kids getting the measles. Kids think of it as a day off because it ain't that bad. Like an outbreak of chickenpox. Can't wait for the news reports on that. Get your vaccination for the outbreak of chickenpox. Because that's going to kill your kid, even though it won't. But there's always people in the population that's a little less receptive to bad things that happen to them, and their immune system can't handle it. That ain't going to change because there's 200 or 300 measles cases in the world. That ain't going to change if we vaccinate everybody either. But go out and get your vaccination if you want to, ladies and gentlemen. You want to keep those measles away. You're going to ruin your kids' week because they want to be off school. But they got us over hypersensitized on all this health crap. They got you so worried about dying you can't live. Because you're running around to this doctor and that doctor. You're dragging your kid here and there. Got to get to this appointment and that appointment because, hell, they need your money. And if you ain't showing up to their office, they can't charge your insurance company for it. Which means they ain't getting money. Your insurance company can't raise their rates in the future, claiming that bills are too high and can't jack it up on you. Eventually, they want all your money. And I'm talking about the people at the top. They want all your money. And you don't think they're in the banking business? You don't think they're in the insurance business and the health business and the drug business? They're in all that, ladies and gentlemen. They're in all that. So they want you hooked on all that. They want you going to the doctor every week for every sniffle you got. Your butt itches, go to the doctor. He'll give you a cream to put on your butt so it don't itch. They want you on the drugs. Then you find out taking the drug's bad for you. Too late now. You got to still take the drug. Oh, well. Tough cookies. I trusted my doctor, and this is what he got me. You say that? I trusted my politician. I trusted my doctor. I trusted my insurance company. I trusted my bank, and what happens in the end? You always get screwed, don't you? When you say you trusted somebody, you find out that trust was unwarranted, wasn't it? Unwarranted in the end. You lost your money. Your insurance rates went up. Your health coverage went down. But hell, keep doing the same things over and over, folks. Keep putting the same people in charge of things so that way it keeps going the same way, and eventually you won't have to worry about money because you ain't going to have any. And they'll just give you little tiddly-willy crumbs here and there. Say, that's your health insurance. Good luck with that. Here's your car insurance. Good luck with that. Doesn't cover anything, but hell, we took it all. We took all your money. That's all we care about. Sometimes everybody needs a dose of shady reality. You don't get it often enough. I don't come on the show enough to give you my reality. But hell, maybe tonight some of you learn something. Some of you might change your ways. The ones that don't want to change their ways probably going to turn it off and say, hell, well, this guy's crazy. There ain't nothing wrong with me. Hell no, there ain't nothing wrong with me. I'm perfect. Some of the girls be out there and say, I'm a princess. Yeah. Princess Hella. Drive me to hell. We want to make some changes. What we should do is actually change our personal behavior to be better people. And not be better people like Brie Larson over there, Mrs. Captain Marvelous Manure. Not like that lady. But real good. Stay out of people's business. Respect people in public. Don't go out in public. Put some pants on when you go in public, please. What is the idea of going to the store in your sweatpants? Or your little sleeping attire? Whatever happened to cleaning up before you go in public? I don't want to see your ugly. That's offensive to me. You complain when something is offensive to you. Well, I'm telling you that's offensive to me. But that don't matter, right? Only matters if it's offensive to you. So you ain't going to change your behavior. You're going to keep going and doing the same thing over and over. Say, I got to live with it. That's right. I got to have tolerance. Though you don't have any tolerance for anything I got to say. You ain't got no tolerance for what I got to do. You said, yeah, we should support your causes, but you don't support any of my causes, right? Any causes that I might be a part of? No, hell no. Hell no. We don't do that. Because for some reason, my causes ain't as good as your causes. Your causes are causing all the problems, too. So who is really the cause of all the problems? Sure as hell ain't people like me. We don't even go out in the world anymore because it's blatantly crazy. We'd rather stay home, away from it all. Let the crazy happen out there. Just keep it out of my home. You don't even want to do that anymore. Can't even turn on a TV show without getting that stuff put in my face. Go to the movies and get the same stuff. Speaking of movies, ladies and gentlemen, we just went and seen Avengers Endgame, and I'm telling you, no spoilers, don't worry. I just got a few words to say about it. I hate it. Sure, it was fun if you don't think. If you don't think for 5 seconds and you just watch it, you'll be happy. Oh, you'll be very happy with that movie because there was a lot of fun going on here and there and everywhere. But if you start thinking, oh boy, you're going to start wondering, like, what the hell is going on in this movie? Don't make any sense. But it doesn't have to make sense if it's from a Disney movie, is it? No, that's got to be made for kids, no matter what. No matter the fact that it was the person who watched the first Iron Man movie that built all this, and it ain't the same group of people you're targeting now, Disney and Marvel. You're not targeting the people that built it. The people that were there from the beginning, you said to hell with them for this movie. You gave them a little bit of sprinklers, and you said, that's good enough for you. Don't care if it makes sense. Don't think. Our history, don't think about it because it don't make any sense. So that's my review of Avengers Endgame. I give it a 2, maybe out of 5. If you don't think, you probably think it's a 4 or a 5. But if you have to think a little bit and you know the history, the actual history, and you understand what happened in the movie doesn't make sense, then you probably only give it a 2 or less. And I've seen the reviews. A lot of people like it. And I'm telling you, that's because they marketed to people that weren't there at the beginning. And they don't care how bad the movie is, if you ask me, ladies and gentlemen. They don't care about that because they got your money. They got it. And this Avengers Endgame was Marvel's The Last Jedi. I mean, it's an equivalent. They destroyed everything from before, and they're prepping to start over. But they're going to try to keep the history, just like Star Wars is going to try to keep the history, even though they've damaged the history. They've destroyed it. But whatever. Long as you like it, that's fine with me, I guess. I'm going to give up on all that stuff. Ain't nothing for people like me anymore. We're a kind of unique group that's on the fringe now because they don't want people like us over here who want decency in the world, who want a good movie, who want, good stories, who want things, who want good. They don't want that. They want to give you mediocre and charge you full price for it. That's the way of the world. You get your mediocre politicians and you get charged full price for it. You get mediocre movies and they charge you full price for it. You get mediocre benefits and you get charged full price for it. And when they ain't making enough profit, they jack it up. That's the way of the world these days. You ain't getting quality. What else can we talk about here? Because we got to stretch this segment out because we went to break way too early on. Because we got Uncle Joe running for president now, or he's going to be running for the Democrat nomination. Boy, there's a big list of nobodies over there, ain't there? And they're still trying to take out Bernie because Bernie's the one resonating with the people. They don't want his message. I don't want his message either. But when you look at it, you see they don't want his message. They try to take him out, even though he's probably got the most popular viewpoint in that group of people on the so-called left over there. I can't believe they letting Joe Biden, the guy who touches over everybody. You might as well have Harvey Weinstein run for president. Why not Anthony Weiner? Bring them all in to run for president. Kamala Harris, she was just questioned by a Latino woman about why she don't really care about women's rights, because she doesn't. She only cares about certain rights about certain people. Not all women, just certain women. See, there's a bunch of things going on, and nobody knows it because they don't pay attention. They watch CNN and think that's the news. You watch Fox and think that's the news. They tell you what they want you to know. And if they don't want you to know something, they leave it out. Just leave it over here. Not important. We don't want you to know that. And if you don't take the time to go and look for it, you ain't going to find it out. Then you'll be in the dark and you're going to pick the wrong people to do things. And then look at this. Mediocre politicians again with a mediocre media. By a mediocre public that take the time to find out what they're talking about. Well, that's because they want to play their games and they're too apathetic on anything else. But hell, that's okay. Long as everybody's happy, who cares if they give up all their freedom? That's okay. Eventually be all gone, as long as you got your video games and you're like Thor in the new movie. So that's that. We've got about 5 minutes more. What should we talk about in the last 5 minutes or so? Well, I guess in the last thing I'll talk about this week, try to help you ladies out. Apparently, a lot of women been shoving garlic up in them, hoping to stop a yeast infection. I guess this gynecologist dude or whatever is worried women are putting garlic in their, vagina hole. Apparently, there's a myth out there, or the doctor says it's a myth. Maybe they just want to sell more prescription drugs, but whatever. They say that there's a myth out there that putting some garlic clove into your vagina is a good treatment for a yeast infection. And this doctor saying, hell no, it ain't. I don't know the difference, ladies and gentlemen, so I can't tell you. So on one hand, you have a do-it-yourself kit for getting rid of a yeast infection. And on the other, the doctor said, don't do it. It could hurt you. I don't know how garlic could hurt you, but whatever. Maybe it smells worse down there. You can't tell. Bad enough that tuna's involved. Now you have to have garlic tuna. Oh, did I go over the edge here? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not supposed to talk like that on the radio. Was that too much? I think John would have complained if I said that. So I guess I'll take that back a little and just say, please, ladies, according to a doctor's recommendation, do not put garlic in your private spot because it ain't good. For whatever reason, they say it ain't good. Now, if your boyfriend like garlic, it might help out a little bit. So whatever floats your boat is what I'm saying. Doctor says don't do it. I say do whatever floats your boat. And if your boyfriend's Italian, it might help out in the love department, if you know what I mean. So I guess it depends on where you're from and how you use it. So Shady says, do what you want, just don't do it in front of me. The doctor says don't do it, no matter what. But I have to give you a little warning, ladies and gentlemen. Shady's opinion is not approved by some ABC agency of the government. So don't do whatever he says, because probably isn't approved by the big brother, and he might be doing something illegal for all I know. Maybe it's illegal to have garlic in the vajayjay. Who knows? Ladies, have you ever tried that? I want to know that. Please send us an email at shadyloveshatemail@live.com. We want to know, have you ever shoved garlic up in you? And did it work? Did your yeast infection go away? And did it help with your Italian lover? That's all I want to know. Guess we got to get on out of here, ladies and gentlemen. We're kind of at the end of the show. So I hope you enjoyed my company tonight. I enjoyed yours. Hopefully with luck, John will return from the void, from vacation. And he'll be back here next week to give you all of his wonderful viewpoints that you are so accustomed to and that you show up in droves. Everybody in the world comes to listen to the John Show because he's so loved by everybody. With that being said, I don't say the big ending like he does. I'm just going to say, Shady says, thank you for coming. We'll see you next time. And remember, if your boyfriend's Italian or you got a yeast infection, try a little garlic. I'm out of here.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have liftoff. Tune in again next week. Same time, same space, same station.
Resistance